Lots of talk about the travel industry, Andrew, and lots of talk about holidays, whether they're going to take place, particularly here in Europe as well.
Yeah, the summer holiday season, this is about the time of year when people usually start thinking about booking their summer holidays in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, I'll give you one statistic, actually. There were 4.5 billion air passengers in 2019. That fell to 1.8 billion in 2020. Let's talk now to Julia Lo Bue-Said, who's the chief executive of the Advantage Travel Partnership. Do you think that 2020 or 2021, the summer of 2021 in the Northern Hemisphere, is going to be the time when the travel industry turns the corner in the pandemic?
Andrew, good morning. Well, we'd like to think so, but I think the reality is holidays will be very different for everybody across Europe this year. We're certainly, I think some of the numbers that you talked about there, we're certainly seeing that, the issue we have, one, the lack of international coordination is going to make it very challenging for anybody looking to travel. I think there is some optimism, some great news across different countries where the vaccine rollout is starting to gain momentum. I think particularly this week we saw the news between Israel and Greece agreeing the vaccine passport. So I think an indication that there is a concerted effort across the as you say, the Northern Hemisphere to really try to galvanise travel, because it's clearly a key. Tourism is key for a lot of these destinations in terms of their economic recovery. But we're having to work with everyone working at a slightly different pace, which is going to be a challenge.
We seem to be getting mixed messages from politicians around the world. In some ways, you can't really blame them because things about the pandemic change. I mean, look at Victoria in Australia. That's just announced its third lockdown. Are you frustrated, though, in general about the way politicians have been coping with this?
Frustration's probably being very polite, to be perfectly honest. I think there's, I think in a lot of countries we've seen some really positive support of the travel industry. I think, when the only thing you sell is travel and it happens to be either domestic or international travel, and the ability to do that is taken away. The reality is, there are millions of people across the world that are employed in travel. I mean, travel and tourism is the third largest employer globally. Your livelihood is taken away. So the ability to be able to survive and financially prosper is challenging. So the frustration is certainly around the lack of coordination around government, mixed messages completely. I think, we've seen certain destinations in the UK. We've seen one cabinet minister talking about booking holidays, the other saying, don't book holidays. So absolutely very confusing messages. But governments we really need governments to urgently come together and really talk seriously about how we safely restart travel, through international coordination.
Okay. Julia Lo Bue-Said, thanks very much for joining us on Newsday.
Yeah, there we go.